I wanted to have a conversation about this phone case that I purchased earlier this year. If you watched, it was my collaboration with Flow in the City. I talked about this purchase over here, and I did discuss how the glazing, and I will post a picture of the glazing over here so you can see. So this piece had glazing issues, and I had mentioned that I really didn't care about the glazing issues because I intended on using the hell out of this, and I meant that sincerely. But I wanted to talk about what happened after that video, so let's discuss. After I filmed that video and I said how I didn't, really care that the glazing was messed up and that I would be removing this eventually anyway, I came upon a video of another luxury YouTuber. His name is Sergio's Secret. He was talking about some dad sandals from Chanel that he had purchased, and they had a tear, and he was talking about the issue with his shoes, and he said something and it just ignited my fury. And what he had said was that he didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but that he used to work at Chick-fil-A, and that the dad sandals were like a paycheck when he worked at Chick-fil-A years ago. And it really resonated with me as well. Like, who am I now? I'm just like, oh, I don't care. And honestly, you guys, I became unhinged. I was so upset, you guys. I contacted everyone and their mother, and I expected this to get repaired. I was very I didn't like that I had become very just, complacent and accepting of buying something that was so expensive and just being like, no big deal. Literally, this is such an expensive phone case, you guys. And I remember that my husband, when he saw it, was actually very upset. Those things really do upset him because I think that he believes that he's buying into quality, and obviously there could be a quality issue, but there has to be a reparation to the defect because that's why we're paying so much money. And I contacted the sales associate who I purchased this with, and she did not respond. So that further upset me. I then went to a Neiman Marcus with a Chanel, and I spoke to a sales associate there. They took a photo of it, and they said that they would be contacting me back. Never happened. I waited a month to hear back on whether or not I should take it in or whatever. I never heard back, and then I contacted them and they didn't respond either. So at that point, I contacted the 800 number, and I was very, very upset, and I told the customer service advisor that I was very upset, but obviously I was not upset with her. But I told her that, initially I wasn't upset about it, but being ignored was agitating the situation. And she completely understood, and she told me that she was going to take care of it. And I don't know who she contacted, because I was then contacted by numerous different people. One of the people that contacted me told me that they weren't going to be able to do anything. And that just was gasoline on the flames that were my anger. And I had said that that was not an acceptable response, and that was not a resolution that I was willing to accept. And she stopped taking my calls or responding. And I said, look, I know that you're not the one making this decision. Please have your manager contact me, because this is not acceptable. And so I never heard from that manager, but I had received a phone call from someone else from a completely different boutique, which was an actual Chanel boutique. And it was the Robertson boutique. I worked with someone there, and they were super nice. They also said that they were going to contact someone, and they were going to figure something out, and they would get back to me. And they were actually very efficient and very quick. And they did tell me to go ahead and bring it in, that they were going to attempt to repair it. And they did. It took about a month, which I was surprised. It didn't take that long. Honestly, the fact that it took so, like, not as long as I expected made the entirety of the month and some weeks that I was trying to get it repaired such a waste of time, because they could have just done it to begin with. In any case, I did get it back and they did fix the glazing on this piece. I don't think that won't happen again. I want to be clear about that. I do think that this is just not like a Chanel quality piece. It's maybe novelty and stuff, but I just can't excuse the price point on these to have that issue. I will also say that when the glazing came off, I feel like if I would have just taken the entire thing off, it would have been like fine. It wouldn't have fallen apart or anything. It was just going to expose like kind of like the inner case, which is why I wasn't that upset to begin with. But like I said, hearing someone else articulate something that I hadn't really thought about in a long time, right? Because yes, I was able to purchase this and I love it still, and I do have to give it to Chanel that they did repair it, which of course they would have to repair it or give me back my money. That was kind of where I was at. What I did forget to mention is that because I did have that situation, I was using this not carelessly, you guys. It was not careless at all. I was just using it every day. And I feel like when I talked about this, I said I used it a lot, and then I said I don't use it that much. I tend to be very contradicting in the things that I say. But what I wanted to say is I still have two phones. So I kept my main phone on here, and I would just always have my phone in the case. And so at night when I would charge it, it would be on the case. Anytime that I picked it up, it was always in the case. So I'm no longer doing that. So whenever I actually do want to use the case, then I'll put the phone in, and then when I get home, I will be taking the phone out and I will be storing the case in the box. So, you know, maybe that was what I did was wrong, but usually, you know, this didn't come with any like instructions like, you know, don't keep your phone on there, remove your phone on a regular basis. It could be because the phones get hot. Maybe that's why this started to melt off. I'm not sure, but Chanel should include care instructions with this if that is the issue. But if you have it, or if you've ever considered it, definitely don't keep your phone in here. Only put it in here when you're going to go and use the item for the day, and then when you get home, take it out of the phone case. And I do think that that's an important detail that Chanel does not give you when you purchase this. So I did want to share that with you guys. But anyways, I did get this repaired, and I wanted to discuss it just because I think that, you know, if ever you have an issue with a Chanel piece, do not accept a no for an answer, you guys. The reason we pay these price points are because I don't abuse my items. I really do think that this was kind of like a lemon, and I told them that because I had never had an issue with a Chanel item previous to that ever. So I'm not sure if they're going to continue to make these. I would still buy another one. I'm not even going to lie, but I would want one like a leather version in black. But I do really love this one, and I kind of fell in love with Chanel just because they did the right thing and repaired it. But I did want to share with you guys my experience, just because I think that sometimes it's helpful to figure out how to deal with things. Sometimes we go to a store where we buy them thinking that they're going to be very, very helpful. But as I can tell, Neiman Marcus is probably the worst store to buy Chanel items from. I had the worst aftercare service there, but Chanel itself was a completely different animal, and they were very, very courteous and very helpful. I did have this repaired, and I did get it back. And so if ever you guys need to have something repaired, don't discount the 800 number. They are very helpful, very useful. And if one person doesn't help you, hang up and call back, because there are very, very nice client service agents at the 800 Chanel customer service number. That is all for today, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on the issue that I had, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.